Okay, yesterday we studied about the progressive waves. Even we wrote the progressive wave equation, and we have seen two types of progressive waves, longitudinal and transverse progressive waves. And we even studied their properties. I told you longitudinal progressive waves will be in compressions and rarefactions. The region with maximum particle density is called compression, and the region with the least particle density is called rarefaction. Transverse waves will be in the form of crusts and troughs. Crust is the region where the particle will have displacement towards maximum displacement towards positive y-axis, and trough is the region where the particle will have the maximum displacement towards negative y-axis. So crusts and troughs, even distance between two adjacent crusts or troughs in case of transverse wave, and compressions to compression or rarefaction to rarefaction, we called it as wavelength lambda. Of course, I gave you the general properties of progressive waves, which are applicable both to longitudinal as well as transverse waves. Even we wrote the equation of the progressive wave. Now let us see the relation between the wave velocity v, frequency, and wavelength. Okay. I think serial number 2 or 3 is going on.
Sir, 2, 3, sir.
Okay. So here is the progressive wave. Here is a particle at crest. So this particle will be vibrating. This will be the mean or equilibrium position. So it goes up to the crest with maximum displacement. And once it starts retracing, the wave will be advancing. So it comes to the mean position, and the same particle will go to the trough position. Wave advances further some more distance, and finally it comes back to the point of start. So in this time, in which particle starting from mean position goes up to crest, through mean position goes up to trough, again from trough it again comes back to crest, the wave in the medium will be advancing through a distance equals to the wavelength lambda, because in this time equals to time period, yes, the wave advances through a distance equal to wavelength. In the same time, the particle completed one full vibration. So when the wave reaches to this point, another crust is produced here. The disturbance is carried by the wave. That's why we defined the distance between adjacent crusts or troughs of a wave is equal to the wavelength lambda. So in a time equals to time period, the wave advances in the medium through a distance equals to wavelength. Therefore, the speed of the wave is equal to distance by time, that is lambda by capital T. And we also defined frequency as the number of waves in unit time. This is of course reciprocal of time period. So I can write V is equal to lambda into 1 by T, that is nu lambda. Therefore, in case of a progressive wave, the relation between the speed, frequency, and wavelength can be written as V is equal to nu lambda is equal to lambda by capital T. So this is the relation between the speed, frequency, wavelength, and time period. So V is equal to nu lambda is equal to lambda by capital T. This is called the wave velocity. What do you call this? Wave velocity. And nu is the frequency. In some books, they will be showing nu, n, and lambda, wavelength, t, time period. This is one relation. We have another relation between wave velocity and particle velocity. If you complete, I will proceed to next. Vamsi.
Done, sir.
Done, sir.
Okay,
Done, sir.
good. Fifth one. Relation between the wave velocity and particle velocity. I have shown the two motions separately. This is how the wave is advancing. This is how the wave is advancing. And this is how the particle is moving. Like this. Either up or down or to and fro. Wave is advancing from left to right. Particle at the same position is moving to and fro or up and down. Therefore, wave velocity, already we got the equation as V is equal to nu lambda. Why it has come? Okay. So in the oscillations lesson, wave velocity V is equal to nu into lambda next the displacement of the particle y is given by r sine omega t minus kx. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So the velocity of the particle or the speed of the particle we will be getting it as time derivative of displacement. In oscillations lesson, we got the equation. We got it as minus, no need of minus sign, r omega cos omega t minus kx. And yesterday we wrote the relation between omega and k. What is that? So maximum particle velocity. This is nothing but dy by dt can be written as dy by dx into dx by dt. Right, Chalaga? Yes or no? dy by dx into dx by dt. So dy by dx is nothing but y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. So this is nothing but slope. Slope of the yx curve. And dx by dt is nothing but the speed of the wave. So we will be getting speed of the particle is equal to minus v into slope of the curve. Wave, sorry. Because wave has got, yes, what do you mean by slope? Means I'll call this distance as x1, this distance as x2, then this will become slope. Say I call this angle as theta, then tan theta is equal to slope is equal to y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. The same thing can be shown as dy by dx. This is only called m, the slope. So slope of the curve is dy by dx, and x will be continuously advancing, but slope will be sometimes positive, sometimes negative. So hence this negative sign has come. Therefore, particle velocity is equal to minus of wave velocity multiplied by slope of the curve. So particle velocity at a given instant at a particular time will be equal to negative of the product of wave velocity multiplied by slope of the wave at that point. You know, wave is nothing but a curve. The slope of the wave curve, whatever you are getting, is nothing but dy by dx. So that's how we get the relation between the particle velocity and wave velocity. Next is last relation. Relation between phase difference and path difference. So here is the wave advancing through the medium. So this is the wave advancing through the medium. We can have, say, this is the origin. So here is the origin. I can have any particle at any region. So the particle distances are, I can put, this is x1, x2. So here is the displacement of the particle at a distance x1, whereas the particle at a distance x2 is having displacement in downward direction. I told you phase represents the state of the particle in periodic motion or simple harmonic motion. So at a distance x1, the particle is having displacement towards positive y-axis and decreasing slope. Whereas at a distance x2 from the origin of the wave, the particle has got downward displacement and the wave has got increasing slope. So here, I told you, when the particle completes one full revolution along the circumference of the circle, in fact, from this only we got that y is equal to r sine omega t and all. That circle we called it as reference circle. So in this circle, in a time equals to time period, n starting from O will go up to y. From y through O it goes up to y dash and again comes back to O. Means in a time equals to time period, the particle of the medium completes one full vibration or oscillation and the particle describes an angular displacement equivalent to 2 pi radians. In the same time, I told you the wave advances through a distance equals to the wavelength lambda. So from the logical reasoning we will be getting for x2 minus x1, that is equal to delta x, this is called path difference, is equal to lambda. The concerned phase difference phi 2 minus phi 1 is equal to delta phi is equal to 2 pi radians. So for any path difference delta x, like x2 minus x1, what I have shown, I don't know whether it is lambda or lambda by 2 or lambda by 4. It can be anything. I just took 2 points. I wanted to know the difference in lengths of the paths covered by the wave at those two positions where the particles have got different displacements. So in general, for any path difference, path length, so what will be the phase difference? Only reasoning. Yes, it is 2 pi by lambda into delta x. Therefore, the required equation is delta phi is equal to 2 pi by lambda into delta x, or simply phi is equal to 2 pi by lambda into x. It can be also written as x is equal to lambda by 2 pi into phi. Now, this is crest. If it is a longitudinal wave, compression. This is trough. For longitudinal wave, rarefaction. Again, crest. So, crest to crest, the path difference is lambda. Therefore, phase difference will be 2 pi radians. Next, suppose crest to trough. Crest to crest wavelength lambda. So crest to trough means it's nothing but half of the wavelength. So substituting in this formula, phi is equal to, it will be 2 pi by lambda into lambda by 2. Antena?
Yes, sir.
Therefore, the phase difference between crest and trough, pi radians. So phase, in case of longitudinal waves, phase difference between compression to rarefaction is pi radians. So like this formula will help you to find the phase difference if you are given path difference, or you can find path difference when you know the phase difference. So very important formula, please note it down. So you can remember like this. For delta t is equal to capital T, delta phi will be equal to 2 pi radians and delta x will be equal to lambda. For delta t by 2, delta phi will be pi, delta x will be lambda by 2. And delta t will be equal to t by 4. Delta phi will be equal to pi by 2 and delta x will be equal to lambda by 4. So this is very, very important. Even coming stationary waves also will be needing it. So we got two important relations here, three important relations. One is V is equal to nu lambda is equal to lambda by T. Next, particle velocity is equal to minus V into slope of the wave. Next relation is phase difference is equal to 2 pi by lambda into path difference, or path difference is equal to lambda by 2 pi into phase difference. So this is what we have in these important relations. Then we'll have the progressive waves, stationary waves. Next one.
Sir, could you please explain phase and paths, sir?
Pardon?
Sir, could you please explain phase and paths, sir?
Yeah, exactly. Phase means, say, so this is how the particle is vibrating up and down or to and fro, correct? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now, once the particle starts at O, it can be anywhere from O to C, or it can be anywhere from O to D. Yes or no? When
Yes,
t
sir,
is equal to 0, the particle will be at O. When t is equal t by 4, particle will be at C. Coming to this, when t is equal to 0, particle will be at A. When t is equal t by 4, particle will be at O. Next, when t is equal to t by 2, particle will be at D, correct? Here, when t is equal to t by 2, particle will be at B. So at various instants of time, the particle will be located at various points in the path described by it. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. So sometimes it will be at the extreme positions A and B or C and D. Sometimes it will be at mean position. Sometimes it lies to the right of the mean position. Sometimes it lies to the left of the mean position. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So the particle is not at rest. Whenever disturbance is created, the particles of the medium are continuously in periodic motion. They will be executing simple harmonic motion about their position, or about their equilibrium position. So it can be at any of these points in the path which it is traversing. So how to locate a particle at a particular instant of time? How to know what is the state of vibration of the particle? State of vibration or oscillation means, what is the meaning of it? Is the particle is at extreme position with zero displacement, or the particle is to the left of the extreme position, or the particle is to the right of the mean position, the particle is above the mean position, the particle is below the mean position. So we are not certain about the state of vibration or oscillation of the particle. The particle can be located because we have got an equation, y is equal to r sine omega t. Yes or no? So this clearly shows that with the change of time interval, y will be changing. So this is called y. Here it's called x. So different instants of time, either x or y can be different. Therefore, to know the state of vibration or oscillation of the particle, what is the meaning of state? Next question. State means vibrational or oscillational state. Means you will be knowing whether the particle is at mean position or extreme position, or is it in between? If so, is it to the left of the mean position or right of the mean position? That is called state of vibration or oscillation of the particle. It can be known with the help of the term called phase. Already I told you in simple harmonic motion. Once again, I am telling you. Better you write once. Phase represents the state of the particle. Phase represents the state of the particle in the periodic motion. Phase represents the state of the particle in the periodic motion. That is the phase will help us to locate the vibrating or oscillating particle, in its path with respect to the mean or equilibrium position. With respect to its mean or equilibrium position. So phase difference means what? As I have shown you in the diagram. Yes, here this particle is to having displacement towards positive y-axis. But is it maximum displacement or no? At C, displacement will be maximum, correct?
Yes, sir.
Here it lies in between y to 0, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Here it is minus y. Why minus y? Because the particle is displacing towards negative y-axis. So the phase will help us to tell whether the particle has got 0 displacement, is it at the mean position, is it at the extreme position. All the information about the state of vibration or oscillation of the particle can be known if you know the phase. Phase difference means I have located two particles, correct? The
Yes, sir.
difference in vibrational or oscillational states of two particles executing simple harmonic motion, that is called as phase difference. Suppose one particle has got a phase phi1, other particle has got a phase phi2. So the difference of phases of these two, phi2 minus phi1, is called as the phase difference delta phi. Understood?
Yes.
Now, phase difference is for vibrating particle. Path difference is for the wave. I told you, once the particle starts vibrating, the wave will be advancing in the medium. Once my tongue starts vibrating, the waves generated from me are reaching you. Do you agree or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So in the intermittent path in between you and me, millions of particles will be oscillating or vibrating, and they'll be in different modes of vibration. All particles cannot be at crest. All particles cannot be at troughs. So there will be different modes of vibration. Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So it is estimated
Yes, sir.
that in a time equals to time period, I repeat, in a time equals to time period, delta t is equal to time period in which a particle at a particular position completes one full vibration, the wave in the medium will advance through a distance equals to wavelength lambda. So wavelength is the region where the particles have got same displacement, that is crust, distance between two crusts or distance between two troughs. So once a crust is formed in the medium, after how much time another crust will be formed?
So T is equal to T seconds, sir.
Time period. Yes or no? So in
Yes,
that
sir.
time, the wave in the medium will be traversing a distance equals to wavelength. See, the particle very close to my mouth is now vibrating or oscillating. Try to visualize. Once the particle very close to the tongue completes one full vibration or oscillation, then in this time, the wave from me to you will cover a distance equals to wavelength. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So that wavelength is distance between any two regions where the particles are in identical states of vibration. So in a time interval equals to time period, from the instant a crust is formed, after a time equals to time period, another crust will be formed in the wave motion. Because this disturbance created by the vibrating tongue of me is making all the particles to vibrate. So if a particle near to my tongue is in crust, then at a distance equals to wavelength and after a time equals to time period, another crust is formed in front of me. Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
So this distance in the medium traversed by the wave is measured in terms of path difference. Phase difference is for a particle, path difference is for wave. Understand? Got it?
Yes, yes, sir.
Enough for? Understood the relation or not?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Understood, sir.
Yes. So now we have another formula that also I'll tell you here. Derivation is not there. So the speed of transverse wave in a string. Just go back to that oscillations lesson and see the phase term there. We gave you the equation y is equal to r sine omega t minus phi. So this whole term is called phase. Omega t minus phi means if the epoch is equal to 0, particle is assumed to start from x. If epoch is not equal to 0, the position of the particle at t is equal to 0 will be p naught, and that will be given by this angle phi naught. So r sine omega t minus phi naught. Understand? Just recollect what you studied under this thing. Today you just go through that. If still you have any doubt, tomorrow in the first stage of the class itself, first 5 minutes of the class, still if you have any doubt, you ask me. I'll again explain you these two terms, phase and phase difference and path difference. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So now, here is a string stretched between two rigid supports, say M and N. And the wave is under some tension because you can create tension by attaching a load here. So whatever load you attach will create sufficient tension in the wire. and if you just pluck it, a transverse pulse is created, and this pulse thus created will advance in this string like this. So a progressive transverse wave is produced. Now, this is how the wave is advancing in the medium. So in this, T stands for tension created in the string. Of course, that will be equal to the load attached, and V, the speed of the transverse wave. Next, we have a term called, say, M is the mass of the string. L is the length of the string. Then here we define linear density. Linear density means mass per unit length. That is, of course, given by M by L. Or in some books, they also give you mu. So units, kg per meter or kg meter inverse. Then the speed of transverse wave is derived as root of T by mu. Derivation is there. Once we do JE advanced, yeah, I'll be showing you this derivation. For the time being, just formula is enough. Even Anagha, for you, formula is enough. Okay?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Derivation is there, but we don't need at this stage. So this is the speed of the transverse pulse that is produced in a wave. You can also write it as T is equal to capital M into G, where M is the mass attached to the string and mu is mu or lambda. It is small m by L.
Sir, could you please define linear density, sir?
Pardon?
words.
Linear
Sir,
density.
could
Yeah?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Mass per unit length of the wire. Mass per unit length of the wire is linear density. Similarly, mass per unit area of a thin sheet, surface density. Mass per volume, density. Now, mass of the wire can be written as volume into density of it. So V is equal to cross-sectional area multiplied by length into rho. So mu can be written as, yes, M by L. That is, L will cancel A into rho. A, because the wire will have a circular cross-section, so it is pi r square rho. Therefore, the formula for speed of transverse progressive wave in the string will now become T by S pi r square into rho. A very important formula. You will be getting some problems based on this relation. So this T by pi r square, sometimes we also call it as stress. S is equal to tension by area. This is called as stress. It will have the same units as pressure. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And similarly, we have speed of longitudinal waves. Here, suppose if E is the elastic constant, this elastic constant we have three types. Y, Young's modulus, for solids. K, we call it as bulk modulus. We'll be learning in elasticity lesson. For the timing, just know the terms. We'll be getting in fluids. And N, rigidity modulus. This is regarding change in length, change in volume. This is change in shape. Rigidity modulus. And rho is the density of the medium. Then speed of the longitudinal progressive wave is given by E by rho. So speed of light in solids, speed of sound in solids is given by Y by rho. Speed of light in fluids, means liquids and gases, this is K by rho. We don't have any relation with the rigidity modulus, so you can expect problems based on these two relations also. We'll deal with this is exclusively liquids. Fluids means again gases, because they obey gas laws and all. So speed of sound in liquids can be written as K by rho. For gases, you need to deal separately. So this formula is not applicable because they obey gas laws. That we will see the derivation tomorrow. Okay.
Yes, sir.
After that, we will see superposition principle. Okay, na? Have you copied the formula?
Yes, sir.
Vamsi?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. We'll continue tomorrow, right? Vamde?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, Vamsi, Anaka, bye.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, sir.
Okay.